The steam was so thick it was like breathing in a ghost. One moment, I was humming off-key, lost in the blissful heat of the shower, and the next, I was calling out into the fog. "Honey, could you get my back?" I asked, a playful lilt in my voice. 30 € straight S when I felt it. Not the soft sponge I was expecting, but something cold, hard, and unforgiving pressing into the delicate curve of my spine. A voice, low and gravelly, a stranger Euro straight S voice that sent a tremor of ice through the warmth, answered from the mist. "The safety is off. There are Euro straight S a bullet in the chamber. Why would we bother with scrubbing backs?" I bolted, a strangled cry caught in my throat, tripping over the towel in a desperate, blushing scramble. "Pervert!" I shrieked, my heart hammering against my ribs. Behind me, the man stood frozen, the gun in his hand suddenly feeling alien and absurd. He stared at the weapon, a deep confusion clouding his features, as if he himself couldn't comprehend how their story had started like this. The city outside my window was a constant, sleepless hum, a glittering tapestry of neon signs and rivers of headlights. I was draped across a sleek, modern couch in an apartment that felt more like a showroom than a home, furniture so painfully expensive it felt like I was trespassing in my own life. 3 weeks had passed since the car accident, 3 weeks of living inside a jigsaw puzzle where half the pieces were just euros gone. The doctor promised my memories would return, but he made no guarantees about my charm, for which I was eternally grateful. Until that day came, I was left to play detective in the ruins of my own mind, piecing together the man I used to be. The one saving grace in this sea of confusion was James, my husband, my incredibly handsome, intensely mysterious husband. I watched him now, a silhouette against the Kachina Eurostrade's ambient light. His broad shoulders were hunched forward as he focused on his phone, a lock of dark hair falling across his brow. His jaw was set with a severity that suggested he wasn't just texting, but negotiating world peace. He Eurostrade been acting strangely ever since I got home, wrapped in a cloak of distance that felt cold to the touch. It wasn't a Eurostrade, a malicious kind of weird, just a Euros remote. As if he were guarding a secret so profound, my amnesia-rattled brain couldn't possibly crack the code. And I suppose I understood. My cognitive functions weren't exactly at their peak post-crash, but a man has needs. And my husband seemed to have taken a vow of celibacy, channeling a stoic monk when all I wanted was my sexy spouse. "James," I called out, my voice laced with theatrical longing. I stretched my body with deliberate slowness, making sure my t-shirt rode up to reveal a sliver of skin. "Are you going to spend all night communing with that phone? Or are you going to come keep your lonely husband company?" He didn't Eurostrade even look up. "Busy," he clipped out. Busy ignoring the very obvious, very needy man sprawled on his couch. I let out an exaggerated pout and swung my legs to the floor. "War Eurostrade been like this since the moment I walked out of that hospital," I said, my tone shifting from playful to genuinely curious. "What are Eurostrade's the deal? Have you already grown tired of my scintillating personality?" His thumbs froze over the screen. For a fleeting moment, I saw a flicker of something cross his face. Euros, was it annoyance? Or was it Euros guilt? He quickly shoved the phone into his pocket and turned to face me, his gray eyes pinning me with an intensity that made me feel like a butterfly specimen on a corkboard. "You need to rest, Elliot. No to Euros, whatever this is." Flirting with my husband, I shot back with an undeterred grin. "Last I checked, 30 Eurostrade not just allowed, 80 Eurostrade practically in the vows." James muttered something unintelligible under his breath and made a swift retreat to the refrigerator, a classic move to hide the telltale blush I knew was creeping up his neck. He was so endearing when he was flustered. It reminded me of that bizarre incident in the shower with a gun. I still hadn't figured that out. Euros, a very unconventional bedroom accessory. To be sure, Euros, but I was trying not to judge. My mind was still replaying that steamy, confusing moment when his voice, low and clipped, drifted from the hallway. He must have thought I couldn't hear him. No, he Eurostrayed's not ready yet. His body is still recovering. There was a pause. My breath caught in my chest. I don't Eurostrayed make a move on someone who isn't Eurostrayed at their full strength. Farter Eurostrayed's my rule. Another, longer pause followed. Stop pushing me. When he Eurostrayed's healthy, I Eurostrayed LL handle it. I froze, my entire body going rigid. My heart performed a strange, complicated flutter in my chest. Handle it. Recovering. Oh, is that what this was all about? Was that the reason for his monastic behavior? He was worried about my health. He was holding back, reining in his desires because he believed I was too fragile for for the more intimate duties of a husband. A wave of warmth spread through my chest. That was incredibly sweet, infuriating on a primal level, but undeniably sweet. It all made sense now. The way he blushed whenever our hands accidentally brushed, the way he flinched away from my touch. The poor man was a saint, exercising Herculean restraint all for my sake. It was time to test this new theory. I sauntered over to the kitchen counter, leaning against it so that our arms grazed. He instantly tensed up, the phone still pressed to his ear. James, I purred, my voice dripping with honey. You don't Eurostrayed have to be so noble, you know. I Eurostrayed am feeling much, much better. He abruptly ended his call mid-sentence, the tips of his ears turning a charming shade of pink. Elliot, go sit down. Nope, I said, sliding even closer, my fingers lightly tracing the veins on his wrist. I felt his pulse leap beneath my touch, a frantic bird trapped in a cage. A triumphant smirk played on my lips. See, you are Eurostrayed not quite as immune to me as you pretend to be. He snatched his hand back as if my touch had burned him. You are Eurostrayed reimagining things. Am I? I tilted my head, letting my gaze wander deliberately over the expanse of his chest, the black t-shirt doing little to hide the solid muscle beneath. Because from where I Eurostrayed am standing, you look awfully tense, babe. Do you need me to help you with that, Elliot? His voice was meant to be but it was shaky, frayed at the edges, and I was savoring every second of it. Stop. Why? I stepped directly into his personal space, so close I could smell the sharp, woodsy scent of his cologne. Afraid you might actually like it too much. He grabbed my shoulders, his grip not rough, but firm and unyielding, and steered me back a step. You have no idea what you are Eurostrayed replaying with. I laughed, a sound filled with pure delight. Oh, I think I do. I gave his chest a playful poke. It was like pressing against a brick wall. You are Eurostrayed the one playing hard to get. What are Eurostrayed's the big secret? Are you saving yourself for our second honeymoon? His jaw clenched so tight I thought I heard his teeth grind. For a terrifying second, I thought he was going to explode, but instead he released a long, slow, controlled breath and gracefully stepped around me. I Eurostrayed am making dinner. Go watch TV. I flopped back onto the couch, a wide grin plastered on my face. Fine, but you are euros trade re not off the hook, Carter. I'll euros trade onto you. He didn't euros trade T reply, but as he began chopping vegetables with a sharp, unnerving precision, I caught him sneaking a glance at me. His movements were too controlled, too exact, as if he were disarming a bomb instead of dicing carrots. I pretended to scroll through my phone, but my eyes were fixed on him, studying the subtle tension in his steady hands, the way his gaze flickered towards me whenever he thought I wasn't looking. He was holding something back, and I was going to make it my personal mission to unravel him completely. Later that evening, after a pasta dinner that he had somehow crafted into a Michelin star experience, I decided to corner him. He was in the living room, engaged in what was apparently his favorite evening pastime, cleaning his gun. I plopped down on the sofa right beside him, well within his personal bubble. So I began, twirling a lock of my hair around my finger. When are you finally going to stop treating me like I euros trade made of spun glass? He didn't euros trade T look up from his task, meticulously wiping down the barrel with a soft cloth. When you stop acting like you are euros trade read about to break. Rude, I retorted, nudging his knee with mine. I'll euros trade much tougher than I look. I bet I could take you in a fight. That earned me a snort, a rare and precious crack in his stoic armor. You are euros trade D probably trip over your own ego and start crying. I gasped dramatically, clutching my chest. Wow, my own husband roasting me. Where is the love? Same place as your common sense, he muttered, but I saw Eater euros the corner of his mouth twitched, threatening a smile. Gotcha. I leaned in closer, resting my chin on his broad shoulder. Just admit it. You are euros trade re completely crazy about me. He froze, the cleaning cloth stilled in his hand. For a tense moment, I worried I'll euros trade D pushed him too far. Then, he set the gun down with painstaking slowness and turned to face me fully. His eyes were blazing with an intensity that felt like a physical touch, searching my face as if he were trying to solve a puzzle I didn't even know I represented. Elliot, he said, his voice a low thrum, you need to stop. Stop what? I whispered, my heart suddenly pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. Loving you. He flinched. It was barely perceptible, a flicker of an eyelid, but I saw it. And then he was on his feet, grabbing his jacket from the back of a chair. I'll euros trade going out. I blinked at him, utterly thrown. Eater euros trade s like 9 or euros trade clock at night. Lock the door behind me, he commanded, his back already rigid as he strode towards the exit. James, I called after him, but he was already gone. The door clicking shut with a sound of chilling finality. I stared at the empty space where he had been, a knot of confusion and frustration twisting in my stomach. Okay, so maybe I had pushed a little too hard, but why did he always react like I was the enemy? I fell back onto the couch and grabbed my phone, immediately texting my best friend, Sophie. My husband is being the king of weirdos. He refuses to touch me. Thoughts? Sophie, he's either cheating on you or he's impotent. Pick your poison. Me not helpful. I think he euros trade s just worried about my health. Sophie, sure, sweetie. If you really believe that, keep telling yourself that. Want to hit a bar tomorrow night? Ditch the Ice King for a few hours. Me tempting. I'll euros trade LL think about it. I tossed my phone onto the cushion beside me and stared up at the blank ceiling. James was hiding something, and it was much bigger than just his feelings. I wasn't euros trade T a complete idiot, even with the scrambled eggs for brains. I knew he wasn't Euros trade T your average, run-of-the-mill guy. The gun, the cryptic, hushed phone calls, the way his eyes constantly scanned every room as if assessing threat to Euros, it all pointed to something more. But he was also the man who had stayed up with me all night when a fever had me shaking. The man who knew without being told that I despised tomatoes but adored mango smoothies. He was my husband or Euros, or at least thought Euros trade as what I believed he was. So why did it constantly feel like he was one wrong move away from vanishing into thin air? I closed my eyes, his words from the phone call echoing in my mind. When he Euros trade as healthy, I Euros trade LL handle it. Handle what, James? Me, or something else entirely? The next morning, I was pulled from sleep by the rich aroma of brewing coffee and the familiar clatter of James moving around the kitchen. Sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, casting long shadows and making the city skyline glitter. I stretched, my muscles protesting from my dramatic lounging session the day before, and my eyes landed on the empty, undisturbed space beside me in the bed. He hadn't come to bed last night. Euros trade D found him passed out on the couch around 3 a.m., his jacket still on, looking as if he Euros trade D run a marathon and collapsed at the finish line. I had carefully draped a blanket over him and had to physically restrain myself from drawing a mustache on his face. It was a close call. I shuffled into the kitchen, rubbing the last traces of sleep from my eyes. There he was, standing at the stove, flipping pancakes with the intense focus of a brain surgeon. He was wearing a gray Henley with the sleeves pushed up to his elbows, revealing forearms that were probably illegal in several countries. I leaned against the doorframe, a smirk spreading across my face. "Morning, chef. Are those for me or for your secret girlfriend?" He didn't Euros trade T even flinch, simply sliding a perfectly golden stack of pancakes onto a plate and pushing it towards me. "Eat. War Euros trade re too skinny." Wow, a backhanded compliment and breakfast. What a charmer. I grabbed a fork and dug in. They were Perfector Euros fluffy, with a subtle hint of vanilla. Damn him for being so good at everything. "Careful, James," I said around a mouthful. "I might start to think you are Euros trade trying to seduce me." He just grunted in response, pouring himself a mug of black coffee. "War Euros trade D know if I was. Would I?" I tilted my head, slowly licking a stray drop of syrup from my lips, my eyes locked on his. His gaze flickered down to my mouth for a split second before darting away. "Gotcha, because you are Euros trade giving me some seriously mixed signals, babe. 1 minute you are Euros trade hotter than the sun, the next you are Euros trade the Arctic tundra." He took a long sip of his coffee, pointedly ignoring me. Classic James. But I wasn't about to let him off the hook that easily. I hopped up onto the counter, swinging my legs so that my bare knee brushed against his hip. He recoiled as if I were radioactive. "Alert," he said, his voice tight with strain. "Go put some pants on." "Why? You don't Euros trade T like the view." I was only in boxers and a t-shirt, hardly scandalous. But the way he was meticulously avoiding eye contact told me I was winning this round. I leaned in closer, lowering my voice to a conspiratorial whisper. "Come on, James. Euros trade am healthy. Euros trade am willing. And Euros trade am right here. What Euros trade s stopping you?" He set his mug down on the counter with a loud clank, sloshing coffee onto the pristine surface. "You are Euros trade not ready." "Not ready for what?" "A little fun." I hopped off the counter, effectively closing the small gap between us. He was taller than me, but not by much, and I was now close enough to see the frantic pulse jumping in the column of his throat. I heard you on the phone last night. You said you were waiting until our euros trade am healthy to a circumflex euros handle me. A circumflex euros trade, well, news flash, our euros trade am perfectly fine. So go ahead, handle me. His expression went completely blank for a moment, then hardened into a mask of stone, as if our euros trade D physically slapped him. You don't euros trade T know what you are euros trade re-talking about. Then tell me. I threw my hands up in exasperation. You are euros trade reacting like our euros trade am a live grenade with the pin halfway pulled. Our euros trade am your husband, James. Eater euros trade s time you started acting like it. He just stared at me, his jaw working silently, before turning his back on me and grabbing a dish towel as if it were a lifeline. Finish your breakfast. I groaned in frustration and flopped down into a chair. You are euros trade read impossible. He didn't euros trade T answer, just began washing the dishes with a rigid, military precision. I stabbed viciously at a piece of pancake, muttering under my breath, "Fine, be a monk. See if I care." But I did care. I cared so much it was driving me insane. I knew he was attracted to me. The blushes, the stolen glances, the way he nearly fumbled his phone when our euros trade D touched his hand yesterday. Euros, the signs were all there. So why was he so determined to build this impenetrable fortress around himself? After breakfast, I decided it was time to up the ante. I changed into my tightest pair of jeans and a fitted black shirt that accentuated my chest. If James wanted to play the part of a saint, I was going to make his sainthood a living hell. I found him back in the living room, once again engrossed in his phone. Our euros trade am going out, I announced, grabbing my keys and giving them a pointed jingle. To that coffee shop down the street. Want to come? He looked up, his eyes immediately narrowing as they took in my carefully chosen outfit. You are euros trade re not going alone. Our protective husband mode activated. I grinned, tossing the keys in the air and catching them. Come on then. You can keep me safe from all the flirtatious barristers trying to steal my heart. He muttered something that sounded suspiciously like trouble but grabbed his jacket nonetheless. Score. The coffee shop was a short walk away, a trendy place with glass walls and exposed brick, teeming with hipsters glued to their laptops. I ordered a mango smoothie, euros my favorite, a detail that James, for all his emotional unavailability, somehow always remembered euros while he got a black coffee. No surprise there. We found a small table in the corner, and I immediately stretched my legs out, letting my foot playfully nudge his under the table. He pulled back instantly and took a sip of his coffee. Stop it. Stop what? I fluttered my eyelashes at him innocently, taking a long, deliberate sip of my smoothie through the straw. The tips of his ears went pink again, and I had to stifle a laugh. You are euros trade re so easy to mess with. I bet I could make you crack by lunchtime. Bet you couldn't euros trade tea, he retorted, but there was a flicker of a challenge in his eyes, a spark I was living for. Game on. I leaned across the table, my voice dropping low. What do I get if I win? He met my gaze, his expression steady despite the blush that was now creeping up his neck. You won our euros trade tea. Oh, I will. I reached out and took his hand, my finger tracing the lines over his knuckles. He froze, but crucially he didn't pull away this time. Progress. Admit it, James. You are euros trade re dying to kiss me. His hand twitched under mine, and for a glorious second, I thought I had him. Then his phone buzzed. He yanked his hand back as if he strayed deep been electrocuted and glanced at the screen. His entire demeanor shifted in an instant. His face hardened, and he stood up abruptly. We strayed relieving. What? Now, I blinked, thrown. I haven't strayed even finished my smoothie. Now, he clipped, already moving towards the door, his posture screaming a circumflex all business. A circumflex strayed. I grabbed my drink and scrambled to follow, a bubble of annoyance rising in my chest. Outside, the city was a cacophony of honking cabs and chattering pedestrians. But James was scanning the street like a hawk searching for prey. He grabbed my arm, his grip tight, and started steering me back towards our apartment. Okay, what the hell? I pulled my arm free, planting my feet firmly on the pavement. You don't strayed get to just drag me around like a child. What is going on? Nothing, he said, far too quickly. Just stay close to me. I crossed my arms, glaring at him. War strayed freaking out. Was it that phone call? Is someone after you, or after me? He hesitated for a fraction of a second, but it was all the confirmation I needed. Elliot, drop it. No way. I stepped closer, poking him in the chest. You are strayed hiding something big, and I strayed am not moving another inch until you spill. He grabbed my wrist, his touch gentle but firm, and leaned in, his voice a low, urgent whisper. You want to know what strayed's going on? Then trust me and move. Now, I searched his face, and for the first time, I saw something new there, something that wasn't just frustration or annoyance. It was fear, or maybe desperation. It was enough to shake me. Fine, I muttered, letting him lead me away. But my mind was racing, 1,000 terrifying possibilities blooming in the dark. Back in the apartment, he locked and bolted the door, then immediately started checking the windows like we were in the middle of a spy thriller. I collapsed onto the couch and watched him. Are you going to tell me what that was all about? Or do I have to start guessing? He didn't strayed answer, just pulled out his phone again and began typing furiously. I grabbed a throw pillow and hugged it to my chest. James, I strayed am not made of glass. Whatever is going on, I can handle it. He finally looked at me, his expression softening for a fleeting, heartbreaking moment. You shouldn't strayed have to. My heart did that stupid, traitorous flip again. Well, I want to. Because apparently, I strayed am stuck with you. He almost smiled at that, but then his phone buzzed again, and the mask of stone-faced James slammed back into place. I sighed and picked up my own phone, pulling up my conversation with Sophie. She strayed been relentlessly pushing me to ditch James for a night out, and after the Dare strayed's events, I was seriously tempted. Maybe a break from his hot and cold routine would do me some good. Or maybe, just maybe, I could make him jealous enough to finally crack. Either way, I was done playing nice. I glanced over at James, still glued to his phone, and a smirk touched my lips. The game isn't strayed over, babe. Not by a long shot.